Hey again, happy Saturday. I'm in a better mood than I was yesterday. Some people didn't care for my irritability yesterday. All apologies. I am not sugar and spice and everything nice 24/7. Sometimes I get mad about stuff. Yeah, because I'm human just like you. I mean, shit, I'm not a sunshine dispenser. So sometimes I just get pissed. And I say so. I just left the little thrift store. I didn't get a whole lot today, and it's fine. But look at this. Ooh, it's so furry. Look at that. It's like a scarf thingy. Put it over your head. I'll sit at my desk and wear this thing. I don't give a damn. Because in my office where I work, it's like a damn meat locker some days. It is so cold in there. Even in the middle of summer, doesn't matter. It can be July. It can be 100 degrees outside. I'm sitting in there like this. Whoa, this was 50 cents. Isn't it pretty? Oh, I love it. I'm going to leave it on. That's nice. I'm going to tuck it down in my coat. Ooh, I'll sit at my desk with my coat on. I don't give a damn. Let somebody walk by and say something like, it's freezing in here. I'm cold. My fingers don't even want to work. You know how you get cold, your fingers get all stiff? Oh. So, got that. I got this really pretty dark purple Bloomingdale's cashmere sweater for $3. Isn't that right? Bloomingdale's cashmere. Yes, it is. $3, and I like the color. It's, if you can't see it, it's kind of like a dark purple. It's like an eggplant color, I guess. I like that. Very pretty. $3. I'll probably wear something under it because it's kind of thin. And I was here a while back. Oh, it was a while ago. And they have this can. It's like a trash can, a plastic bin thing up by the front, and in that they will have rolls of wrapping paper, gift bags, you know, things that you can buy, and they're really cheap. There was some old, like vintage wrapping paper, some rolls of some old, not like super old, but wrapping paper from maybe the 80s. I mean, you could just kind of look at it and go, that's older paper. And it probably came from some meemaw who, you know, has gone to heaven, and they had to clean her house out, and, you know, they donated it. And it was 2 rolls for $1. And I bought it, and I thought we could do a video with this. I don't know what we could do, but it's like really cool looking vintage wrapping paper. And today I found some more. I got some more. Look, they put a little curly ribbon on it. It got some more wrapping paper. It's pretty though. It looks like springtime. There's a wind chill of 7 out there right now. I could use all the springtime I can get. And when I first looked at this, I thought it was shelf paper, but it's not. It's wrapping paper. Isn't that pretty? These are 2 rolls for $1. Look at this one. Ooh, I like, now this one has a texture and irises. Isn't that cool? Yeah, it has like an interesting texture to it. It's like I don't know how to describe it. It almost feels like wallpaper. Like, you know how some wallpaper has that texture? It's kind of like that. And it has irises on it. It's beautiful. Made me think of my mom because she's always liked irises. That's like her favorite thing in the world is irises. If I were going to give her a present, I'd wrap it in that. And I got one other one. This one's crazy. This one has all kinds of flowers and sweet corn. It has sweet corn on it. It's like, oh, and vegetables. You got little peas, strawberries. Oh, it makes me think of summertime. Isn't that cool? I know I keep saying that. I'm sorry. I just love it when I find wrapping paper in there. And I picked it up, and this piece rolled out of it. We have an extra piece. Look how colorful that is. Now, I don't know if it's old. It may not be. We're just going to say it is. Because it came from some meemaw's closet. This meemaw went on the road to glory, and I know that's where this came from. I'm going to stick it back in there. Strawberries. It'll fall out. Don't put it back in there. So I got all that for $4.50. I round up here. I don't round up at Goodwill anymore because I'm tired of Goodwill. I just gave them a 5. I always tell them to keep, well, I try to always tell them to keep the change here. Just to let them have it. They have a bunch of donations. I dropped off a bag of stuff. I went through all of my workout clothes yesterday. Last night I went through all my tank tops and stuff and donated a whole bag of stuff that I haven't worn in a while. So there's a lot of my clothes in there. I see them every now and then like, hey, I remember this sweater. I donated this. You know, because it's funny because a couple of times I picked something up like, that's nice. And I go, Mary, that was yours. Oh, yeah. I never wore it, did I? Yeah, don't buy it again because you didn't wear it before. That's how it ended up here. So I have to go deposit a check. I have a check. See, my dad, I order stuff online for my dad, and then he sends me a check. He wanted to know if you can call Amazon and place an order like with the Sears catalog. No, I don't believe you can. I mean, maybe you can call them to place an order. Can I just call them and give them my number and tell them what I want? I mean, maybe. I don't know. I've never tried it. Whoever you were talking to, every other sentence out of their mouth would probably be, can't you just go online? My dad doesn't do online. He does not do, don't tell him to go online. He will get very angry. I'm not going online. So, but anyway, he sent me a check for some stuff I bought him online. I got to go deposit that in a bank. Yeah, so somebody asked me the other day if I would do a video about dealing with these financial times. And so I thought I would talk about that a little bit. Now, I want to say right up front, this is not financial advice. This is not medical advice. It's not any kind of any advice except as advice from a goober on the internet, because that's all I am. It is for entertainment purposes only. You take it and do whatever you want to with it. Just pretend I am some overly verbose lady in front of you in line at the grocery store who will not shut up. Just look at it that way. All right. First of all, I want to say I don't think it's news to anyone that the financial situation around here is not great. And it's also not news to anybody that a lot... Oh my... It's Glenda the Good Witch. Hey! What are you doing? Yeah. Are you going in? Oh, no, I can if you want to. Maybe. Do you want to? Yeah. Okay. What, the post office? They're open till 12. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I had to pause you. We had to have a chat. We sat in the parking lot and talked. Okay. He's going to the post office and I'm going to the bank. We were talking about Better Call Saul, and we're going to watch it. Then we got to talking about his condo up in the mountains and the cleaning he does up there and all that. Anyway, he's going to the post office. I'm going that way. Okay. I've never actually run into him while we were out and about, but yeah. Okay. What was I saying? Shit. Oh, the financial situation in the current time is not good. Now, you may have people trying to tell you otherwise, but don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. I have eyes and I have a brain and I go shopping and I know shit ain't good. I mean, I get mad every time I go grocery shopping because I do pay attention to how much things cost. And a lot of stuff I buy repeatedly, like I'll buy it every week, every couple of weeks, whatever. And I see the prices going up. Sometimes they inch up a little bit. Sometimes they jump up a lot. I know that my car insurance is going up, although I've had no wrecks, no tickets, and neither has my son. It's going up. I don't know how much this year, but I already got a letter from my car insurance company saying basically brace yourself. The premiums are going up this year. I've never gotten a letter like that in all the years I have been driving, and I've had insurance, since I was 16 years old. I've never seen a letter like that. My homeowner's insurance went up, my property taxes went up, and they are projected to go up again this year. They went up last year, and they're going up again this year. Utilities have gone up. My gas, my power, those rates have gone up. My cell phone, well, actually my cell phone has stayed about the same. My internet has gone up. My security monitoring has gone up. Like, my gym memberships went up. I'm down to just one though, but I occasionally will get a visitor pass to go somewhere else. But so don't tell me things are great, okay? Stop bullshitting me and treating me like I'm stupid. I mean, that's how I feel. Like, I'm not stupid. You're not stupid either. You know damn well things are not good. So I just want to say, first of all, things are bad. it's time to acknowledge it. If you don't think things are bad, if you think things are fine, maybe it hasn't hit you yet. Maybe somehow you're insulated from it. Shit's bad. A lot of people are suffering. A lot of people are having to seriously look at their budgets and cut stuff out that they've never had to cut out before, just to pay for the basic things that you have to pay to live. It's everywhere. It is everything. It has rippled out to everything. It's like a domino effect. If one thing goes up, that's one thing a lot of people don't think about. Oh, we need to put more money into this. Okay, that's cool. Where's it going to come from? Where's that money going to come from? Because all that money comes from somewhere. Oh, the government. Honey, the government has no money. The government doesn't make money. The government collects money and distributes money. And in the process, a lot of it sort of vanishes because of bureaucracy and you never see it again. The government is not very good at distributing money. They take in $1, they distribute 80 cents. I mean, a lot of it goes away, but the government doesn't have any money. A lot of people, a shocking number of people don't seem to understand that. The government has no money. The government has our money. Do you know where the government's money comes from? You and me. Taxpayers, that's where money comes from. They don't make money. They don't generate anything. They collect it and redistribute it. So it has to come from somewhere. And I think a lot of people are starting to figure that out. So shit costs more. And I don't see an end point to that. I think I'm going to stop in here for a second. A lot of people don't seem to understand that. There's no end. Do you see an end in sight to this? To these increases? I don't see a point where you can say, oh, if we can just make it to this point, or once this happens, things will get better. I mean, maybe I'm missing something. I don't know of anything that would do that for us. I don't. Do you? I mean, I don't see an end to this anywhere. I'm going to park in the shade of the ABC store, because the sun is blinding me. It's cold as balls out there. It's 27 degrees, but the wind chill, it's kind of windy, gusty, makes it feel a lot colder. We'll park over here in the shade. Or let's see, if I could just park where the sun is not in my damn face. I could park in front of Jersey Mike's. No, I don't want to park in front of Jersey Mike's. They may not like me doing that. I'll park on this side of the ABC store, right here. Okay. Nice. I'm going to shut my car off so I don't waste gas. All right. So, I don't see an end to this in sight, but I think what a lot of people are doing is they're thinking, well, I mean, I know I have debt now, but it's all right. I mean, things will get better. Are you making a lot more money now than you were a year ago? Have your expenses gone down in the last year? Probably not. I know mine haven't. I went back and looked. I use my credit card to pay for groceries and stuff, and you can get this little summary of how much you spent per month on, food or entertainment, or, it breaks it down into categories. I am spending probably 30% more now on groceries compared to what I was spending, like a year ago. A little over a year ago, I was spending 30% less just on groceries. And I'm not buying 30% more groceries. If anything, I'm buying fewer groceries, because my older son has started to, buy some stuff and contribute too. So I'm probably buying less now, and I'm spending 30% more. One thing you may need to do before you do anything else, and it's going to be uncomfortable, you're going to have to pull your head out of the sand, or out of whatever orifice it's in. If you really want to just ignore problems and hope they go away, let me just tell you now, that is no way to live your life. That is not a productive, good way to live your life as an adult. You cannot ignore your problems and hope they go away, because they won't. If anything, they'll get worse the longer you ignore them. But don't feel like you're alone. You're not. I think a lot of adults are doing just that. I think a lot of adults, and you look, we have now in this country over $1 trillion of credit card debt in the USA. It's like 1.2 trillion, more than we have ever had in the history of this country. Over $1 trillion of credit card debt. And people are they're falling behind on their payments, not just on credit cards, but on cars, their house, other expenses. They're falling behind on their payments. And a lot of people are living with their head in the sand, and they're ignoring the problem because it's uncomfortable to confront problems. I know it is. You're going to have to get uncomfortable. You're going to have to pull your head out of the sand, and you're going to have to deal with some discomfort. One more thing I want to add, and I thought about this on the way home after I stopped after I stopped recording and went to the bank and all that. I had a thought, and I need to say this too, and I'm going to put this near the beginning of the video because somebody will do this. Again, this goes along with the whole discomfort thing. Stop making excuses. I'm not trying to be a hard ass. I'm trying to help you. Stop making excuses. We all know people like this. They have every excuse in the book for why they can't change, why they can't do any better, why they're in a bad situation, and they have a million excuses for why nothing can change for them. Things are bad for me because of this, because of this. You need to be understanding. The people are dealing with this. You need to be understanding. Honey, my understanding has nothing to do with your situation. Other people's understanding has nothing to do with your situation either. If you're using excuses, you need to be honest with yourself about it. Write down the reasons that you have, and I know some people will have them. Write down reasons that you have right now for why you're in the financial situation you're in. Write them down on a piece of paper and look at them. Look at them objectively. Are these valid excuses? Are these things that you truly can't do anything about? Are they truly? Are you strapped to a gurney and you are physically unable to change anything? Are you? If you're making excuses for why you're in the situation you're in, I'll just go ahead and tell you right now, you will never change. You will never get out of the situation. You have no hope until you get rid of those excuses. And I can't do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. The excuses are comfortable. They're like a warm blanket around you, but they're not going to take care of your problem. I can think of a bunch of different excuses. Oh, I have arthritis. I have pains. I have this. I have that. I'm getting older. I wake up and I'm sore and I don't feel good and I don't want to go work out and I don't want to do this and I can think of a million excuses just as an example to not go to the gym today. Are those excuses going to get me in better shape? Nope. Are those excuses going to improve me as a person? Nope. Your excuses aren't going to do it for you either. Whatever your excuses are. And again, you can call me a bitch. You can call me, oh, she doesn't care. She doesn't understand what people have been through. You can say all that. It's not going to hurt my feelings a bit. It's not going to do anything to me. Just like the excuses aren't going to do a damn thing for you. So if you want to improve whatever it is you're trying to improve, your financial situation, your health, whatever it is you're trying to improve, another one of the first things you have to do is get rid of those excuses. Throw them out and don't bring them back in the house. And I know it sucks. I know it does. I know when I was married to my first husband, that was me. I had my head in the sand. I was much younger than I am now. Not very financially savvy. I didn't have the wisdom that I do now at the age of 50. I can't blame it all on him. I chose to marry him, although he had a lot of debt and collections that he lied about, and I didn't know. If I had known, I wouldn't have married him, but I found out after we got married. But anyway, we had a lot of credit card debt, and I chose to just ignore it, and when the bills came in, I would just pay the minimum amount, and I didn't look at the total, like whatever. That total can jump and go up very fast. Faster than you would think, and you cannot ignore it. You cannot just keep paying the minimum amount and charge like there's no tomorrow. You cannot. That's not sustainable. You cannot keep doing that. You're going to have to sit down, look at your credit report, your credit score. I know you don't want to do it. I know. I didn't want to. I had to do it. It hurt to look at it. Like, oh my God, I have so much debt. Holy shit. When I first saw how much debt I actually had, I about hyperventilated. I damn near just lost it. And I cried. I just burst into tears when I saw how bad it really was. But I needed to see that. I needed to see it because it's the slap in the face I needed to get my ass in gear and get my life together and say, okay, We're going to have to change the way we do everything. We are going to have to radically change the way we do everything. We're going to need to sit down and make a budget, because we didn't really have a budget. We're going to have to make a budget. We're going to have to cut out all this unnecessary stuff. We have got to seriously focus on paying off this debt. Unfortunately, long story short, he was not on board with it. He kept pissing money away. He didn't pay. You know, we had bills that had to be paid. He wasn't helping pay anything. When he got paid, he would just go below his paycheck, and he wasn't really worried about it because he knew I would take care of it. She'll complain, but yeah, she'll pay it. You know, she'll bitch a little bit, but she'll pay it. Anyway, I divorced him. He's long gone, thank God. He was not interested in doing any of that. Like, no, I believe I'm going to keep living the way I want to live. I'm going to take my paycheck and just go spend it on dumb shit. You can't stop me. Like, well, I can divorce you, though. And I ended up having to do that because he was not interested in changing anything the way. And, like, if I stay with him, he will bankrupt me. He will bankrupt me. And that was his answer. He said, that's what my mom and dad do. You just declare bankruptcy and it all just goes away. I mean, yeah, you have it kind of rough for a few years, but all that debt gets wiped out. And his parents had declared bankruptcy twice. And he said, yeah, just declare bankruptcy. That's, you know, I don't know what you're stressing about. We could just declare bankruptcy. Like, I don't want to do that. Oh my God. That's what I'm trying to avoid. But he had a very different mindset when it came to money. Are you a spender or are you a saver? That's another thing that's going to be uncomfortable that you have to think about. Are you more, think about what makes you more comfortable, saving money or spending money. You got to be serious about it. You got to get serious about it. I used to be a spender, but I would say I'm more of a saver now. And I do think you can change. I don't think it's like a thing set in stone, like you can't change it. I think you absolutely can, because I was definitely more of a spender when I was younger. But as I have gotten older, I am more of a saver. I live well below my means. I have tried to do that for quite a while now. You know, I am not interested in having the latest, greatest, best, whatever. I don't care. I drive a 9-year-old car. It's paid for. It's been paid for years. I paid it off within 3 months of buying it. I got a good deal on it. And I basically paid cash for it. I did the 90 days same as cash thing. I had it paid off within that 90 days. And I tried to get a car that was dependable, not terribly expensive to fix, really good on gas, and gets me where I need to go. Do I need a brand new car? Nope. Do I need a brand new cell phone every year? Nope. Do I need to go out to eat? Mm-mm. Do I need to go spend $1,000 on clothes in a store? Hell no, I don't. I go to the little thrift store, and that's one of a bajillion different things I do. I don't spend a lot of money on clothes. I don't spend a lot of money on jewelry. I don't spend a lot of money on much of anything. You have to look at okay, it's simple math. How much money do you have coming in every month? How much money is going out every month? You need to keep track of that. Pull your head out of the sand. Get uncomfortable. Those are the first two things I want you to do. Number 3, I want you to take at least 2 weeks, preferably a month. Make a record, however you want to keep a record. I don't care. Do it electronically, do it on a piece of paper, doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. I want you to record every penny you spend. I don't care if it is just $1 in a vending machine. Put it down. How much are you spending? What are you spending it on? And how much money do you have coming in every month? And I think a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people, if you would do that, it would shock the hell out of you to see where your money is actually going. Look at your subscriptions, because it's very easy to sign up for things like Hulu, Netflix, you know, Amazon Prime, whatever it is. You sign up for these things, and then you have to look at them like, am I actually using these? You know, is it worth, and look, how much are you paying for it? Is it worth it? You know, you have to decide that for yourself. Is it worth, and look how much you're paying a year for that subscription. It's probably quite a bit of money that you could put towards something else. You may not be able to live the lifestyle that you have become accustomed to anymore, because these are new times. We are in things have changed. Shit has changed compared to a few years ago. Things are not the same anymore. You are going to have to change too, more than likely. You're going to have to change the way you do things. And I go through my subscriptions too. I eliminated a couple of them last month that we just don't use. My younger son complained a little bit. I said, you don't use it enough for me to pay for it. If you want to pay for it out of your allowance, out of what you get for doing chores, oh, I don't want it that bad. I said, see, that's right. When it's your money, you think differently about it, don't you? When it's my money, you don't care so much. I don't feel like it's worth it. I'm not going to pay for it anymore. I'm going to cut them out. I'm going to cancel these subscriptions because they're not getting used enough to justify paying for them. You can find a lot of ways to save money on little stuff. Make food at home. If you're used to stopping by the drive-thru every morning on your way to work to get something to eat, add up how much that's costing you every month. If you run out and get lunch 2 or 3 days a week, you pick up lunch at Jersey Mike's, or what's Jersey Mike's right there, or wherever. Add up how much that costs you every month. Do you stop by Starbucks and get a drink? How much is that costing you every month? That's what I'm saying. You want to keep a detailed list of where all of your money is going. How much are you paying in interest on your credit cards every month? You need to look at that. Again, it's uncomfortable. Nobody wants to do it. And people have different levels of discomfort, and some people don't want to tolerate it. If you've ever noticed, some people just don't deal with discomfort well, but it's a skill that you can learn. And if you want to change your life, you are going to have to feel some discomfort. It's like if you wanted to get in better shape, you're going to be uncomfortable. There are going to be times that you're sweaty, you're out of breath, you're pushing yourself more than is comfortable. You will be uncomfortable. If you want to change, you have to deal with that. We have to challenge you in order to change you. You have to challenge yourself. I'm not going to do it. I got enough of my own struggles to deal with. You know, everybody's dealing with something. I have my own shit I have to deal with. But you can do it. These are skills that you can learn. You don't have to be some sort of financial guru, because I'm not. You don't have to be any kind of genius to do this. It's basic math. It is simple math. It is money coming in, minus money going out. That's really what you got to look at, and it's going to be uncomfortable for some people to do that, because some people haven't done it. They've never done it. They don't look at it like, I don't know where all my money is going. Well, it's about time you found out. You need to find out where it's going. You need to know where your money is going. No matter how uncomfortable it makes you to see it, you need to see it. You need to confront it. Because, again, like I said, I don't see an end in sight to this. I don't see where, some magic genie is going to come down out of the sky and dump money on us. I just don't think that's going to happen. So if you're in a hole, you're going to have to dig yourself out of it. I don't know any other way to say it. If it is a problem that you are dealing with, nobody's going to come save you. Nobody is going to come rescue you. You're going to have to do it yourself. Now, it may take a long time to do it. It took me years to get all my debt paid off and to get to where I am now. The only debt I have at this point is my house. And I want to keep it that way. I hope to keep it that way. I do not live in a big fancy house. I could have a house twice as big as the one I have, because I was approved for twice as much money. I said, I don't want a house that's that expensive. I don't want some great big house. I will take this house over here. I like it, and I got a good deal on it. The seller was very motivated. He had already moved out of state, and he was very eager to sell. He took the first offer that my realtor and I presented to him, and it was like, well, damn, we probably could have gone even lower. Shit. But I don't need a big fancy house. I don't need, you're trying to impress people that don't care. And a lot of people are very invested in that for their own reasons. They want to have the best, the greatest. You got to have that pink Stanley mug. You'll pay $200 for it. Honey, no. How much are you spending on your nails? Because I know women who spend several $100s a month just on their fingernails, or their eyelashes, or, hey, no judgment. I'm just saying, it's one more thing you need to put on that list of stuff that's where your money's going. It's another line item on that list. You got to put it down. And when you get to the end of the month, do you have any money left over? If not, then you need to do this sooner rather than later. I really think you need to sit down and figure it out. Now, a lot of people, more than you would think, have a side gig. They have a side hustle. You know, they might, what the hell? Are that? I thought his jacket said SWAT. Like, is that a SWAT team getting in that vehicle over there? I'm looking at it through the reflection of the ABC store window, and it's like a double reflection. I don't know what the hell they were. It doesn't matter. I'm like a squirrel. I get distracted. Yeah, a lot of people find another way to make money, you know, for years, and I still do it. Sell stuff on eBay. You find things to sell. You may have things at home you can sell on eBay to make a few bucks. I tell you, when my kids were small, that was perfect for me because I was a single mom. I didn't have any family in the area to watch my kids. If I needed somebody to watch my kids, I had to pay. I had to pay for daycare, and that was very expensive. You know, but eBay was something I could do in my own time, like at night when the kids were asleep or on the weekends. I could work on listing stuff, you know, taking stuff to the post office on my lunch hour from work, whatever I needed to do. Community resources. Weird ass shit going on. Anyway, so it's something I could do. And let me tell you, that eBay money put a lot of food on our table. It paid some bills. It was a nice way to make a little bit of extra money. And it was a wonderful thing to me. I will always be glad that I was able to do that, to make a little bit of extra money to help pay for stuff. Because at that point, I was living very frugally, but I was at a point where I was not making enough to pay everything I had to pay. And I wasn't getting help from anywhere or from anybody. I got no child support for a number of years, and then all I got was $50 a month, and he wasn't paying for anything else. I was covering literally everything, including health insurance premiums, daycare, clothes, shoes, school expenses, medical expenses. You know, I was paying for everything on my own, and I didn't have anybody helping me, and it was not easy. It was hard. So I know how it feels, and it's so stressful. Like, I'm doing everything I know to do, and it's just not enough. And I did have some credit card debt, not because I was out going crazy spending money on stuff, but because I had to use it to pay for food or daycare or stuff, because I just didn't make enough money to cover everything. But somehow I found a way to make it work, and we all survived, and I think we're reasonably sane and healthy. So but I did what I had to do. But eBay was a great way to make a few extra dollars to help pay for things. So you could look into something like that, like a way to make a little bit of extra money. You don't have to sell stuff on eBay. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff you can do. Although I will say, again, this is not financial advice or anything. If you think about doing like DoorDash or Uber or anything like that, do keep in mind, now I've never done that, but if you do that, you have to let your car insurance company know, and unfortunately your premiums would probably go up quite a bit. So you have to kind of factor that into how much am I going to make compared to what are the expenses, like it's going to be wear and tear on your vehicle. It's a lot of expenses that go into it. Are you going to make enough to make it worth your while? I mean, it's just something you got to think about, because if you are doing that, you need to let your insurance company know, because if you're in a wreck and they find out later you were an Uber driver, there could be problems with any kind of compensation. So just keep that in mind. And again, this is not financial advice. Goober on the internet. But if you're doing that, keep that in mind. Or if you're doing DoorDash or whatever, Uber Eats, I don't care, any of those kind of things, it is a way to make money, but the expenses and the things that can go along with it can eat up any kind of money that you might make. So, just keep that in mind. But there are a lot of ways. Ooh, I like her coat. Oh, where are you going there, young man? This older gentleman and this lady, she had on like this like faux fur coat, like full length all the way down to her ankles. And I guess that's her husband. He's hobbling down. You going to Jersey Mike's? He didn't want to go in the liquor store. Yep, he's going into Jersey Mike's, going to get him a sandwich. Leave the old lush in the liquor store. I'm going to go get me a sub. Sorry, God, that's mean. I did like her coat, though. It was beautiful. It's gorgeous. Anyway, it was so pretty. Sorry. So, you know, first of all, don't panic. You know, like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Don't panic. Don't panic. The fact that you are at a point where you can admit that you have a problem is a wonderful first step. I'm actually getting hot in this thing. God knows. Okay. All right. The fact that you can admit that there's something that needs to be done is great. That is wonderful, because you are already ahead of millions of Americans if you can say that. Because a lot of people are they are going to live with their head in the sand until they declare bankruptcy. Kind of like my first husband's parents did, well, twice. Well, that's like their financial plan. Oh, we just charge and build up a bunch of debt, and then when it gets bad, we just declare bankruptcy. And then, yeah, it kind of sucks for a few years, but then you can declare bankruptcy again, and it just all goes away. And that's how they lived. I don't know. That's just how they looked at it. Not a good way don't do that. Oh my God. You know, you are already ahead of a lot of people, and that's wonderful. That is awesome. So I want to commend you for that. You are more self-aware than literally millions of people. So that is great. And you're not alone. Don't panic. It's good that you see it, and you're not alone. You are not alone. There are so many people in the same boat. There are people struggling right now today who have never struggled before, who are looking at this like, I have never had a situation like this financially. There are people who are just, it's blowing their mind. Like, how is everything so expensive? Well, it is. It's complicated, but, you know, yeah, everything is more expensive. It absolutely is. You're not crazy. It is. Everything is. Everything has gone up. And I don't see any end in sight to it. I don't see it turning around. I don't see shit getting cheaper. I mean, do you? I don't. I don't see a path to that. So that means you got to change your life. You got to change the way you look at money. You got to change the way you look at debt. You got to change the way you look at everything. You're going to have to change yourself. Another thing you need to do, you need to get real, and this is going to be uncomfortable for a lot of people. You need to get real about what are wants, what the difference between a want and a need. You got to get real about that. One of the differences for life today is, you know, 100 years ago, the way people saw wants and needs were very different. We have a lot of things today that we consider to be essential, but they're really not. You do not have to have a $100,000 truck. You do not have to have a $1,500 cell phone. You do not have to have nails that you spend $200 a month on. I know, don't get mad at me. I'm not judging anyone in particular. I'm not talking about anyone in particular. It's time to get uncomfortable. And when you look at where your money is going every month, how much of that is a want and how much of that is a need? Starbucks is a want. That's a want. The drive-thru is a want. Netflix and Hulu are wants. A whole lot of shit is a want. It's not a need. You can eliminate it. Is it going to be fun? No. Is your life going to be as fun? You can find different ways to make your life enjoyable that don't cost all that money. And that you may have to just change the way you look at everything from here on out. And I don't mean just temporarily. It may be something you have to change for many years, because I don't see this getting any better anytime soon. I really don't. But if you want to improve your situation, if you really want to make a change, you're going to have to deal with some discomfort. You are. It's unavoidable. So I feel bad for a lot of people. I really do. And that's why I try to put stuff in the blessing box. I try to do stuff for people. I have helped out people in my own life here and there when I can. I don't talk about everything I do, but I try to help people when I can. I try to do what I can and get by myself. But yeah, all my expenses have gone up too. It's more expensive for me to live than it was just a year ago as well. And I think it's hit damn near everybody. I don't know anybody in my life who has not been affected by it. I mean, everybody I know, it seems to be pretty unanimous, no matter who you voted for, what you believe in. Everybody seems to agree, yeah, things are definitely harder. So what are you going to do about it? I mean, that's the question you got to ask yourself. Okay, yeah, things are harder. It's not going to get any better anytime soon unless the genie comes down out of the clouds with a basket full of money. I don't see it getting any better. So what am I going to do? I got to do something. So I would start by patting yourself on the back for acknowledging the problem. Keep your head out of the sand. Don't stick it back in there. Just, if you get a little wiggle room, don't get comfortable. If you start making a little bit more money, put it towards your debt. If you have debt, save it. Do you have any money in savings? Put it in savings if you don't need it for anything right now. Just because you get a little dollar in your pocket doesn't mean you need to go blow it. You need to get used to saving your money. And that is something that Americans anymore are not very good at, and they're not teaching their children to do it either. And I think that is to their detriment. You need to teach your children how to manage money. So if you have kids, you need to be working with them as well. This is something you can all do together as a family. You all need to learn how to manage money, and your children need to learn that. It's much easier to learn when you're a child than when you're an adult. Trust me, because a lot of adults just never learn it. So they go through the rest of their lives with a very bumpy financial status, and it's just chaos. And yeah, teach your kids how to manage money. Teach them how to save money. Teach them about delayed gratification, which I know is not popular anymore, but instant gratification may have to be a thing of your past. You want this shiny new thing. I want a shiny new thing. That shiny new thing is $200. I want that shiny new thing. Well, fuck that shiny new thing, because you can't afford it. You can look at it, you can admire it, and then you take your ass and you walk away from it. That's what you do. And the more you do that, the better you get at it. Because I used to be very bad at, oh, shiny thing. I'll buy that. Here's my credit card here. I don't care about debt. Give me that shiny thing. But after I got real with my debt, I realized I can't do that anymore. I can't think like that anymore. And a lot of your change is going to come in the way you think. It's not just words and numbers on a paper. It's the way you think about things and money and wants and needs and now and later. You got to think about that. I want that shiny thing, but I can't afford that shiny thing. Therefore, that shiny thing is going to stay on the shelf. Somebody else can buy it. I'm not buying it because I can't afford it. I don't need it anyway. So I buy all my clothes in thrift stores. Literally everything I have on except for my shoes came from a thrift store. Even the sports bra I'm wearing, I bought on eBay for $8. And actually the shoes I bought on eBay for $25. So, I don't spend tons of money on my clothes. I don't spend tons of money on much of anything. I do my own nails. I don't know. I do get my hair, my roots done, and my eyebrows done. Oh, another thing you can do too, and I'm running on here. I'm rambling too long, but okay. If there are things you like to do, is there a cheaper way you can do them? Like, yeah, I like to get my hair done, but this place where I go, they charge me $200 a pop. The place I used to go charged more than double what I'm paying where I go now. I get it done now for less than half of what I paid before, and I'm just as happy with it. So if there are things that you want to keep in your life and you feel like financially you can and still cover everything, I'm not saying cut out every luxury in your life. I'm not saying that. Is there a way you can do it cheaper? And for your groceries, when you go grocery shopping, do you go to Publix? Or there might be a cheaper place you can get your groceries. Because Publix is nice, but it's overpriced. I mean, I go to Walmart for stuff that I can't get at Aldi. I get most of my groceries at Aldi, but whatever I need, if I can't get it there, I go to Walmart because it's cheaper. It is so much cheaper than, like, say, Harris Teeter or some of these other. Now, shopping in Harris Teeter is a much nicer experience. It is a pleasure shopping in Publix or Harris Teeter or, Fresh Market or Whole Foods. I mean, it's nice to shop in there. It's a nice experience, but it's not worth what I would pay to shop there. See if you can find a cheaper alternative to the stuff that you do or that you have to pay for. Are there cheaper alternatives? Look into that. There are a lot of little things like that you can do to save money on things that you have to buy. Turn your thermostat down a little bit. You can get weather stripping to put around your windows that will keep your house warmer in the winter. cooler in the summer. You know, you can do a lot of little things to save, and it may just be $1 here, $1 there, but it adds up. And you can really streamline and get lean and mean with your expenses. And I think the more you do it, the more excited you get. Or that's the way it was for me. I got even more excited, like, God, I'm saving so much money. What else can I do? What else? And look at your budget on a regular basis. Don't just do it once and then forget it. You need to do this on at least, I'd say, every 6 months. You need to be making a record of what you're spending and how much is coming into the household for, you know, income. You need to take a good hard look at that. I would say at least twice a year. I do that. And yeah, sometimes I'll look at it like I just did. Like, we don't need these subscriptions. Nobody's using these. Psh. Live below your means. Learn to delay gratification. You don't need everything right now. You don't need that damn pink Stanley cup. You know where it's going to be before the end, well before the end of this year. You know where that pink Stanley cup's going to be? It's going to be at the back of a cabinet collecting dust. Yeah, that's where it's going to be. Get real. Be honest with yourself. Do I need this? Really? Really? And a lot of times, I do that myself. A lot of times the answer is, no, I don't. Put it back. And the more often you do that, the easier it gets. Just put it back, Mary. You don't need that. Put it back. I didn't need this, but I will wear this. I will, no shit. I will wear this at work. I will sit at my desk and be glamorous for 50 cents. I'll wear my $3, what did I say it was? Bloomingdale's? I'll wear my $3 Bloomingdale's cashmere sweater. Now, would I pay full price for that sweater? Hell no. I don't know what it costs new, but ain't no damn way I'd pay it. You can do it. You can do it. I have faith in you. I know you can. Now, you have your assignment. I have given you your assignment. Start today. Today's as good a day as any. You sit down and record in whatever way works for you how much money, everything you're spending money on, whether you're paying a bill, buying some groceries, whatever. Write it down. At this place, I spent this. For this, I spent this. And do that for at least 2 weeks, preferably a month, and then sit down and add it up and categorize it if you want to. You can do like a whole spreadsheet if you want. Where's all my money going? Well, you'll know. You'll be able to see down to the penny where all your money's going. And that will answer that question for you. And it may not be an answer you want to see, but you need to see it. So I don't know if any of this is helpful. Again, I'm a goober on the internet, but I'm telling you what works for me. I do live well below my means. I grew up without a lot of money. But one thing, we were like, my family, we were like, I would say we were like upper, lower class. We weren't middle class. We were kind of like the Connors on Roseanne. We were like down here somewhere. I mean, I never went without. I mean, I always had everything I needed. We didn't have a lot of what we wanted, though. You know, we didn't have nice cars. My dad just had whatever cars, you know, he could keep running. And we didn't live in a nice house. And I didn't have brand name clothes. I didn't have fancy stuff. But, you know, I had everything I needed. And one thing my parents did for me that I will always be grateful for is that they taught me to manage my money. You know, I did chores every week, and I would get like $5 a week for the chores I did. And then I could do whatever I wanted with that money. But if there was anything I wanted, I'd have to save up my money for it. And I hated it at the time, but I'm so glad now that they made me do that, because I learned delayed gratification, which sucks when you're learning it, but it's so good for you. Financially, it is so good for you to learn that. And we do live in a microwave culture where we want everything right now. You can't do that with your money, though. You can't be financially healthy and have that mindset. You really can't. And that's never going to change. I don't care what year it is. That is always going to be true. That is one of those things that just never changes. So I try to live below my means. So I do have some money in savings. I have a cushion if I ever need it for anything. I don't do fancy stuff. We are taking a trip to Vegas. My younger son and I are going to Vegas next summer. That's a bucket list item of mine that I've wanted to do for over 20 years. We are doing that. But that trip is not going to be, honestly, from doing the math, it's not going to be much more than staying at the beach for a week. But so I've already covered that. I've prepaid for almost everything on the trip out of my save. I had some money in savings and I paid for most of it already. But that will be our only vacation this year. That's going to be it. My older son's not going because he's hoping to be working and not going to be able to go out there. He said he didn't really want to go anyway. So it's just going to be the two of us. That's all right. I think it's going to be fun. But, yeah, I don't live some kind of crazy big ass extravagant life. I really don't. And you don't have to be happy. I would say I'm happier at this point in my life than I've ever been. And it has nothing to do with money. Money and stuff are not going to make you happy. Buying stuff is not going to make you happy. Having the latest, greatest, whatever is not going to make you happy. It's a temporary rush of dopamine, and that's all it is. You need to learn to just let it go. Delay that gratification, save that money, pay that debt. And I'm going to tell you, once you get that debt paid off, it is such a burden off your shoulders. It's worth every bit of struggle that you have to go through to do it. I'm telling you, I don't ever want to go into debt again. I don't want to be there. I do have my house. That's the only debt I have, though. But that's all I have to say about it. I wish you the best of luck, but know that you're not alone. You are not the only one struggling with this. But again, like I said, the fact that you realize this is a problem, you're already way ahead of a lot of people. So that's awesome. And I want you to keep going. I want you to face the hard stuff, go through the uncomfortable stuff, push through it, and keep going, because I know you can do it, and you can change. You can make things different for yourself and for your family if you have one. You know, get them involved. Do what you can. Sorry, do what you can, and you can make it better. But thank you so much for watching. I hope some of this advice was helpful to someone. Thank you for being here. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you again soon.